So my name's Erik. I'm originally from Estonia, but I did IB 2 years in the UK. As part of the IB program, at the higher level, I did math, analysis and approaches, chemistry and economics. And then at the standard level, I did biology, English A, and Russian B. The languages I speak, obviously I speak English, räägin ka eesti keelt ja тоже говорю чуть-чуть по-русски. Right now, I have an offer to study chemical engineering at Imperial College London. The reason I chose chemical engineering is because I'm very interested in kind of commercializing new technologies or kind of STEM sciences that's been created, and it kind of works in a lab, but you need chemical engineers basically to figure out how you can make it work for industry and how it can actually benefit people. So that's kind of the reason I'm studying chemical engineering. And then after university, I'd hope to kind of have my own startup actually, kind of doing the same thing, so trying to commercialize some novel technology or science. So when I do have free time, I'm a very active person. So I started playing basketball when I was really young. Basketball is kind of like the national sport back home in Estonia. And so that's really where I picked it up. I played a club in Estonia for a while. A lot of my teammates played for the national team back home. And then when I came to the UK, I also continued, but on the school team this time. And we went pretty far actually. So in the under 16 national cup, which is like schools all across the UK and academies and stuff, we got 4th place. So it's been a pretty prolific and fun high school career. Recently, I also picked up the process of brewing beer. So I mainly picked up brewing beer because it's kind of a family tradition. So on my dad's side, my grandpa did it, and then my father did it also when he was around my age. And now I guess it's kind of my turn. And we also have some of the equipment that's been kind of passed on to generations. Yeah, so it was always kind of in the back of my head. And then it was partly because of like what I learned in school from IB, from Revision Dojo as well. So concepts like kind of fermentation, germination, that I could kind of link back to brewing actually in my head. And so that's what kind of sparked the interest again. And so I thought after IB, I have a lot of free time, so now would be kind of the best time to start. Really, I think the key is being efficient in how you do everything in your life. So if you want to go for those max number of points, you need to be efficient. So the first thing I would say, some people laugh at me for this, but you don't need 100% in the test. The grade boundary, the upper grade boundary is usually at like 70 to 80%. So that's where you need to be at. And the second thing would definitely be using the correct study techniques for you, whatever those may be. And that's really why I love the Revision Dojo platform, because you have like a variety of tools for each, and it kind of can cater to each personality, and it can also cater to your mood. So let's say you've been studying for a really long time and you just want to kind of relax, but you still want to feel productive, you can just flip through the flashcards. But if you want to have some more intensive studying, you can do some of the practice questions or even the mock papers that Revision Dojo provides. So that's the main thing I'd say, just being efficient. So the way I study, obviously I have Revision Dojo open, and then I also have the textbook from the course that I'm doing. And then I also like to have like kind of a whiteboard, if possible, or just a blank sheet of paper. So what I do is, first I'd read through the textbook, like let's say a unit on fermentation. So I'd read through that, and then I'd put it away, and I'd write down everything I remember on a sheet of paper or a whiteboard. And if there's something I don't understand right off the bat, I'd obviously go to Revision Dojo. I'd like look at either the kind of videos or the lessons they have, or the revision notes, or any kind of number of things that they provide to make sure I actually understand the concept. I'd write it down on a whiteboard or like what I remember, and then I'd review the notes again, and I'd actually look at what I missed, and I'd write those in a different color. And so those I know are going to be the key areas of focus for what I need to revise. And so basically I keep doing that for each kind of unit, I guess you can say, throughout the whole textbook. And that's basically how I revise for most of my exams. So younger IB students, the first piece of advice I definitely say is trust your teachers. They're probably the best resource you actually have in terms of, especially in my school, like knowledge of the curriculum and kind of what you should actually learn and how you should learn it. And they also know you personally to some extent. So that's probably one of the better resources where you can ask for kind of study tools, study methods, stuff like that. The second piece of advice is I'd say not to stress too much. Obviously, IB is kind of notoriously difficult, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit overhyped. So as long as you manage your time properly, you'll do well. And obviously, lastly, join the dojo.